This is why you're not improving as a player. ABCs and the foundational building blocks for football and soccer. My name's Raymond Wood, and we discovered when I worked in the Premier League on one of football's biggest projects that this is one of the reasons why players are not making it. If you want to find out more information on how you can bypass this, then watch the following video. It's a game changer. Our next one that we're going to have a little look at is something called ABC and lateral movements. But just think of ABCs, and what ABCs are, they are what we call our building blocks for a player. Okay, so have that in your head, building blocks. And what we'll do is we'll play the short video and then I'll walk you through on a whiteboard session in a moment. Enjoy this short video, guys. ABCs, lateral and vertical movements. You'll notice the player in this particular video is doing a series of different sideward steps and sideward movements, going at pace and slow. We're trying to encourage the player to have good motor skills. You'll notice within the coach here, the movement with the elbows and the arms is going alternate to the leg that's leading. It's really important that players build up a strength in both sidewards, forwards, and backwards movements. Also, you'll notice the bounding off on 2 feet and exploding. This is to increase fast twitch fibers. This is probably one of the most important sessions that you will do with players. It's a great pre-activation, but also it's a great deactivation for the end of a session. And also, it's great for players to alternate on left foot and right foot only. Good luck. I'll just load up my screen and we'll just have a little look again at the whiteboard on this one just to finish off. So building blocks, it's quite important that we cover some of this in your sessions. So whether you're doing this as a one-on-one or you're doing this as in groups in your training session, you notice that the first thing the player was doing was some of the movements they were going really slow. Now, this is important, obviously, if it's the beginning of a session, you don't want it to be, going off at a sprint. Players need to get warm and get the bodies warm. But also for those younger age groups and younger players, it's so important for their muscle memory that they learn to do this slow and under control. And then once they get more comfortable, once they've done slow, then they can then move to fast, okay? But it's always good, no matter the age group you work with, to always start this off nice and slow, then to go fast, okay? Now, when we talk about building blocks, I was very fortunate when I worked in the Premier League and we worked on a super project called the EPPP. And that's where, to date, on this particular project, there's been in excess of £2.1 billion spent. Now, this money was spent on trying to discover how to not unearth talent, but we discovered we needed to develop talent. And rather than waiting for people to develop talent for us, we thought if we could come up with a secret recipe, this would be a great way for England and for the Football Association in England and the Premier League to develop world-class superstars, of which we discovered one of the key areas was what we call the building blocks. And we discovered that when we're building a player, and some of the players that we've worked with and had on the project, and some of the players that have been developed, basically any player who's born in England, who plays at the top teams, have all been developed. 99.9% of them in England are all thanks to this particular project called the EPPP. And that was the project that I worked on for nearly 4 years. Now, this particular project, what it's done is we discovered the key pillars on how to build a player. And one of them is those building blocks. So we need to make sure that when we do a session, we've got agility happening in there. We've got balance. We've got coordination. And the final one on ABCs is speed. Now, how do we do this? quite simply, the session that we've just shown you. Okay, so lots of different cones, movements. We spoke about the player moving through the ladders, and as the players move through the ladders, we spoke about the importance of getting one foot in, one foot out. So that might be left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. And remember, if the leading leg going into this particular part of the ladder here is the right foot, then the opposite arm needs to be pointing high, which is left. Okay. And that is building up basically what we call and improving a player's motor skills. And this is super important for anyone, whether they're 6 years of age or they're 16 years of age or 24 years of age. This is something that needs to be done right at the younger age groups a lot, but also it needs to be maintained and still done even in the older age groups. Even for players who play in the Premier League or La Liga, they will still do these. Now, you will probably say to me, "Oh, Coach Ray, I've been to a Premier League game and actually seen him do some of these warm-ups before a Premier League game." That's correct. Because what it's doing is as well, it's activating that memory, okay? And it's activating that muscle memory. So players start to get used. Now, could you be, as a coach, could you be here? And as the players are moving up and down the ladders, can you be throwing them a ball in? 100%. Left foot, right foot, heading the ball, chesting, and then playing the ball back. So again, it all depends on the level of the player, okay? But there's definitely ways you can get the ball involved in here, okay? We even seen a little bit later on, there was more feet going on through the different shapes on the floor. Again, can we get balls involved? Yeah. What you need to just do as a coach, you need to look at my video that I've just shown you, and then you need to try and become creative. But also, who else can come creative? The players. Now, there's no excuses. You can show this session on your phone, open up your school app and show it to your players or to the player you're working with and show them the video. And you'll be amazed at how many players are very visual and they will love to see this particular video that I've just shown you. And then they can work on that one and go through it. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea on that one. And that one was on ABCs and the building blocks. I really, really appreciate you tuning in to my videos and learning more about the amazing world of football and soccer. If you're serious about your game and about going to the next level, no matter where you're at, whether you're a beginner player or you're an advanced player, please subscribe and follow me at the Raymond Wood. And I'm on Instagram, TikTok and YouTube. And again, as ever, don't hesitate to drop me a question in my comments. And please, please, please make sure you subscribe to all of my channels. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, but it allows us to keep this amazing content flowing. Good luck with your football.